We are fresh off the heels of one of, if not the worst, playoff collapse in the history of this channel. One win away. Really, 1 period, 2 periods at most, away from making it to the Stanley Cup final. I believe it was 5-1, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even 5-0. We aren't going to the Stanley Cup final. Instead, it is a very interesting offseason that lies ahead of us. Ahead of us with me not exactly having control of the team. I don't know what's going to happen with this roster and how this is going to go, what it's going to look like by the end of it for Mike. All I know is that these players may have wasted one more golden opportunity at winning a Stanley Cup. That was one of the worst losses I've ever seen, as the Tampa Bay Lightning ended up beating the Calgary Flames in the final to win the Stanley Cup. So Tampa swept them as well. That makes it so much worse, knowing that Calgary made it to the final, only to just get swept away like they were nothing. Nikita Kucherov leads that Tampa team to a final. Patrick Laine's on that team. Josh Hosang, Nick Merkley. Interesting. Channel Hall of Famer Noah Gregor. Defensively, Seth Jones, Cal Foote. Jesus, that roster's pretty ridiculous. Goaltender is still Andrei Vasilevsky. Would we have been good enough to beat Tampa? I don't know. We might have been. We might not have been. We'll never know. Because we didn't make it. Because this team choked so badly. A third straight President's Trophy. And we only have one Stanley Cup to show for it. Alex Turcotte won the Art Ross. Gabe Metropolitan won the Hart. Tremendous. Morgan Riley the Norris. Denisenko the Lady Byng. Larmour wins the Calder. The Conn Smythe went to Kucherov, which Ryan Donato's apparently won before. Catahat won the Vezina. I mean, he went to the Bruins. It's no longer Carter Hart. Like, he's a Bruin. It's Catahat full time. He won the Jennings as well. Eric Branston the Masterton. Selke to Cody Glass. Metropolitan won the Ted Lindsay. Fantilli wins the Rocket Richard. And then, of course, the AHL. It's going to be a little bit weird. Connor Bunneman did pretty well. Former Hawk Artur Kayumov. I think that's Cam York for top defenseman. Philip Larson, top goaltender. With that, let's move on, shall we? What lies ahead for us with this offseason? How is Mike going to respond to us not only losing in the fashion that we did, but again, a friendly reminder that there are some top-notch contracts that are due, and I don't get control over re-signing the players. I don't. Again, the alternating scheme for this series, Marchand and Philly, hilarious. The alternating scheme for, this series, the challenge of, can I win if I hand over control every other year? We were successful, So now it's down to, all right, let's see if Mike can build a winner and I can coach the winner to success as we get ready to kind of wind things down with this series. Again, for those who haven't paid attention, I'm in the process of updating the rosters again, going back through, doing my end of season kind of reviews and stuff like that. So we're getting there. We got another couple of seasons, I would say 2, maybe 3 for the Hawks and the Kings. But hopefully I'll have those, those updates done sooner rather than later. For those who also don't remember, again, huge offseason. Metropolitan, Doc, Pulock, Dillon. There's some big-time deals that have come due. And I don't know if Mike's going to do the right thing and re-sign the players that he should. With that, we go to the draft. Again, I have no control over what happens here. Not a single trade comes through, so our first pick in this draft will be in the 3rd round because Michael hates picks. Rodriguez. Eric Rodriguez. He's honestly okay for a 3rd round pick. He's fine. That's a decent enough 3rd round pick. We then go to the beginning of the 4th round where we pick up Andreychuk. who is not, man, I can't clear my throat right now, who is not a very good player. Quick little process here, this draft, isn't it? Because he never makes picks. Still later on in the 4th round, now that much further on. Shen, a fringe starter goalie, Vince Shen. So yeah, 6'3" and 17, 55 though. Ugh. Pick 107 is next, still in the 4th round. We're going to select Young, Billy Young. 57 overall, medium bottom, 6 grinder at 18. Also not all that promising. Mike, remember that one draft where we're like, hey, Mike might be pretty good at this? Hasn't happened yet. He takes Bugner. Gordy Boogs. He's terrible. He's terrible. Next. 5th round, a little bit later on. It is Wolniski. I know it's Brian, but Brian. Good old Brian Walensky. Brian. He's a 65, but the low 6 is kind of rough. He's also an overager. Next, 6th round. Boy, this draft. Medium 7th, Cole Nemish. Good old Cole Nemish. This has not been a phenomenal draft for Mike. Oh my God, we have a trade. During the draft, we're going to trade a 6th round pick for the rights to Taro Hirose, I believe it is. Let's do it. We acquire the rights to old Taro. 7th round pick, we select Pushkarev. Sergei Pushkarev. You notice how Mike keeps drafting guys who are 6'2" and higher? It's that old school mentality, draft size. Final pick of this draft. And we select Maltby. Tyler Maltby, another big boy at 6'3". All in all, that was a horrific draft. The best part of that draft for us was acquiring Taro Hirose. Will we even keep him is the question. Oh, boy. Okay, so no major changes to this team through the draft. Now it's time to find out what's going down. I will handle the scouts once we get the free agency. The good thing is the coaching staff that I put together is still intact. We shall advance a day. Metropolitan, thank God, was offered a contract. Kirby Dach was offered a contract. Metropolitan has re-signed. So recently signed. Oh my God. Oh God. He can't negotiate for shit. They were RFAs. Oh, no 85% trick here, huh? Oh my God. Whoo! 8 years at 11.9, essentially. God, we could have signed him for like 9.5 for 8 years. Oh my God. And Kirby Dach signs 6 years at just over 10. We have $1 million of cap space. So Ryan Pulock, thank you for being a great member of this team. We're letting go of Taro. We're not even going to re-sign him. Dillon has at least been qualified. Wallsted's been qualified. But unless he makes a move, we are screwed. We have no money. All right, Mike, how you gonna get yourself out of this little problem, huh? Oh my God. Joffrey Flaherty. Good old Jeffrey. Oh my God. Wallsted apparently signed. That's improbable. Jake Wise is apparently signed as well. How much money do we have? They had to have been two-way deals. Recently signed. Metropolitan. T-Ply's back. Flaherty. Okay. Oof. Then again, the AI loves signing. And I think they've addressed this, or at least they know it's an issue and are fixing it. But, like, there's no reason for them to have even been dumb enough to sign Bugner, let alone give him a max rookie contract. You know? Because that's just brutal. So, this is a bad time. Well, Mike, let's see how you dig yourself out of this. I mean, you kept Metropolitan and Kirby Dach like you should have. But aside from that, good God, You have dropped the ball. Allow me to sign some scouts. Some top-notch scouts here. I didn't even see how many I need. Jimmy Beach. Rich Madden. Trent Ronick. We have Mario St. Louis. Now, where's Martin Lemieux? Vicky Gaborik. Moses Walter. And Landon Ashton. That should be enough. That should be, I would hope. All right, Mike. Pressure's on. Free agency's here. You gotta trade somebody, or we're not going to be able to ice a team this year. Robert Thomas, Philip Zadina, Jason Robertson, the top free agents, Pulock, and Rasmus Ristolainen, the top defenseman, alongside Dante Fabro. Goaltending-wise, John Gibson, Lukas Dostal out there as well, Philip Gustafsson, and the Binner. Let's see what happens. I mean, you'd have to presume that there's going to be a trade. And otherwise, I mean, is he going to be smart enough to, send out more contracts to like AHL level guys? Because you remember last year, we didn't really have an AHL team until I started claiming players on waivers. So we await, and there's a trade. Oh, thank God. Oh, Dallas, you're so dumb. Oh, Dallas, you are so dumb. A third rounder and $9 million worth of Kyle Palmieri. He was on our fourth line in the playoffs for a second and a fourth. Thank God. Oh my God. I wish he got rid of that damn deal at the draft. We might have been able to sign somebody else. But thank God. Kyle Palmieri is being dealt. He was still really good for us, but $9 million? Jesus. See you later, Kyle. That gives us some money to work with. God, who the hell's our goalie going to be? RFA Jesper Wallstedt and a 5th round pick to the Philadelphia Flyers for defenseman Brennan Manel and a 4th. Jesper Wallstedt, we'll see you later, buddy. He's out of here. That's crazy. As Spencer Knight gets traded to the New York Rangers, along with a 1st round pick for Sean Couturier. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to stop the sim. Brendan Dillon has been signed, which is great news. So we came to an agreement with Brendan Dillon. As we're going to scroll back through here. Only a 1-year deal, though, for the RFA. That's dangerous. Brendan Dillon might not be here that much longer. Have we signed anybody else, or was just like Dillon the top priority? Dude, we haven't signed anybody. Jesus. This is going to be a slim roster, huh? Let's see what Brendan Dillon signed for at least. But yeah, this could be... Oh, we're listed as rebuilders. They don't say. We don't even have a goddamn goalie. We have 26 people under contract with $2 million to work with. Dillon signed for $6.9. Good God, and then he's a UFA next year. The AI management is so bad. It's so bad. God, if Enlund and Shen end up being our goalies next year, then I don't know. We might have to change up the experiment. We'll see. He has time to work with. Sami Niku has been signed, and we are immediately trading him, along with a 3rd and a 7th, to the Columbus Blue Jackets for goaltender Danil Tarasov and a 2nd. Because why wouldn't we immediately trade him? Let's do it. Danil, welcome. You are presumably our starter. Because we signed Dennis Gilbert, but we also signed Eetu Makiniemi, and now we are immediately dealing him and a 2nd to Colorado for Sampo Ranta and a 3rd. So thank you, Makiniemi. Don't sign here. We're going to flip you immediately. We are sending a 2nd and a 4th to Minnesota for, I believe, Maxim Latunov, a 3rd and a 4th. So basically a 2nd for a 3rd and a player. That's Maxim, welcome aboard. Grzelcyk on the move. That's apparently a big trade. Wade Allison, Tanner Kaspick has signed. We are sending one of our top forward prospects to Colorado for Joel Edmondson, a 3rd and a 4th. See you later, Abel Merritt. Would have been nice to see how you were going to develop. I guess we'll find out when Colorado kicks our ass if we ever make the playoffs again. And is that it? It looks like it might be. The season's turned over. I think that's it. So we're at least going to get a look at what we can do here. I don't even know how many players we have under contract. Maybe the rule will eventually be like, oh, if you run into this situation, you can then sign whoever you want in free agency. Let me know what you guys think about that, because, yeah, we only have 33 players signed right now. Jesus. And there's room to sign two-way players to boost up Rockford. So let me know what you think. Maybe we'll end this episode a little bit prematurely in case you guys decide that's a good idea. But in case you don't, here's our roster. We have Tarasov, and we also signed a goaltender named Pekarainen. 24-year-old Samu Pekarainen was a third-round pick of the Boston Bruins a few years ago. Down in the AHL, we have Enlund and Shen. That's great. Defensively, it is now Clark, Boqvist, Dillon, Edmondson, Nielsen, Manel, and Gilbert as our top options. That's fine. But then, yeah, again, the AHL is just, it's... Good God. And then forward-wise, it's Metropolit, Eakin, Doc, Point, DeBrincat, and Strome, Niebeck, Zacharias and Ranta, Kaspic, Latunov, and Tiplai. So we'll send down Strombo. Potentially call him back up. Kapitanov. How good's Kapitanov? Yeah, we're going to want him in the AHL for the year. Colombe, we're going to want him in the AHL. So, yeah, actually, Strombo's probably the best guy to have as the healthy scratch. As crazy as that is, and we don't even have a full amount of AHL level forwards. So if we were to look at this roster and we go best lines, healthy scratch, Gilbert is taken out, which is fine. Although Manel and Nielsen do not work on that third pairing. So what if we bump up Nielsen? He's a better fit there. So we could go... I mean, we know Dillon and Clark work. Nielsen does not work. They're both OFDs, that's why. But we could go... we could go with something like that. Nielsen with Edmondson, Manel with Boqvist. Have Manel as a defensive defenseman. He's not a bad two-way, though. So, the defense isn't going to be great, but we at least have Brandt Clark. Forward-wise... the third line might be okay with Niebeck and Zacharias. Zacharias has at least made the team. You could argue having Tanner Kaspic there and running Zacharias on the wing is a better way to go. And then Latunov had decent face-offs as well. That's probably the team right there when it comes to the forward core. That top six should still be able to get the job done, but all in all, God, the AI is just so bad at building a team under these circumstances. They're so bad. Like, auto-sign free agents, you'd think, would make sure that if a new player who didn't know what they were doing didn't know well enough to sign AHL players, that the game would essentially do it for you and bring you up to 42 contracts. Basically just make sure that I have enough players to, ice a team at both levels. As opposed to this, where it's 33 out of 50, 6 exempt, 1.3 million in space. There's no set plan with the AI at all. They just do whatever. It's insanity. In terms of the ratings, we still have that stacked offense. The defense is meh. The goaltending is abysmal. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. There's still room, to essentially alter the rules to the point that it makes this more interesting. Obviously, still keep the challenge there. The whole alternating years thing, we beat that portion of the challenge, right? So now it's okay, how can we make this interesting? The problem is Mike and just the AI GM in general is awful, which is the point, but particularly awful. So it's is it as simple as okay, I can fill out the roster, once we hit the preseason to at least make sure we have a decent AHL team? Let me know what you think. I'm intrigued to know your opinion on how this could play out, where, again, we still have a little bit of time to go in this series, and I still want to find that right mix of a challenge where it's like, okay, not just like, oh, okay, I can put the right pieces into the right place to succeed, because that is basically what we're doing right now. I like that part of the challenge, but it's like, okay, is there anything that we can do to make this even more interesting down the stretch and to try and counterbalance the fact that the AI is hot garbage? So we're going to leave it here. Let me know what you think. Very much looking forward to your suggestions. And next episode, we kick off another season. Can we make it 4 straight President's Trophies with only 1 Stanley Cup? Probably. I thank you very much for watching. Again, looking forward to seeing what you have to say. Know the deal. Support the video. Support the channel. Shout out to my patrons. I love you all. New episode for you just went up alongside this one, I hope. I will see you all next time. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy. Stay safe. God, Mike Milbury sucks.